Hello, my name's Josh. Today I'm going to be doing another tutorial for you. This one's actually going to be a little different from what I normally do, and I'm going to try and keep it fairly simple. Basically going to show you how a plane flies, and if you hadn't guessed that by the title already. I'm going to show you how a plane flies and how to fly said plane. Pretty easy, right? Hope so. Anyway, there are 6 main instruments that all aircraft have, generally. And they're all in the same spot, generally. And that's the airspeed indicator, attitude indicator, vertical speed indicator, altimeter, compass, and turn slip coordinator. That's pretty much it. So, airspeed in a plane is actually very, very important. When people use the term stall, it does not mean that the engine dies and that you fall out of the sky. I'll demonstrate a power on and power off stall in flight. This gauge right here measures your vertical speed in thousands of feet per minute, so 1,000, 2,000, 3, and 4. 0 is straight and level, and the numbers down here indicate negative or you're going down. And then your altimeter, the big hand that's jumping around here measures hundreds of feet, the small hand measures thousands, and the smaller hand in the middle measures tens of thousands. This is a wraparound style airspeed indicator. It starts at 60, 80, 100 knots, 120, 140, 160, then to 200 to 240, and then wraps around again to 280, 340, and 400. So that's how that works. Okay, now we've got the stick and the pedals here on the floor. I'm going to cover the rudder pedals first. These right here control the yaw axis of the aircraft, which points the nose in the direction that you want to go via that little thing back there moving around called the rudder. It basically works off of air deflection, for example. If you can imagine air coming or going toward it, if I want to make the nose go left, I push the left pedal in, and the air hits the tail or hits that surface that's pushed out, thereby pushing the tail of the aircraft to the right and the nose to the left. And it's direct opposite on the other side. And then in the center here we've got the stick. See, it moves up, down, left, or forward, back, left, and right. The forward and back motion controls the elevator. The elevator will control your pitch axis and basically will help you climb or descend. It works the same way as the rudder. If you can imagine air going toward it, you pull back on the stick. Air hits that control surface, pushes the nose down, or pushes the tail down, and the nose goes up. Ailerons work the same way. Right stick here will move that control surface, as you see right here. Right stick, anyway. If you want to make a right roll, basically the wind will hit that surface, push the wing down, push this wing up, and now you've got a roll. So in order to actually make it turn, you need to use all 3 controls at the same time. For example, you need to use pitch, roll, and yaw, because as you start rolling and using yaw, the nose will want to kind of drop, so you have to apply back pressure to keep the nose level. So I'm going to close the canopy, and we're going to take off. This is a poor example to use for a tutorial on how to fly a plane, as it is a tail dragger and it's a little bit more complicated than a Cessna, for example, but this aircraft is a hell of a lot of fun to fly. So I'm going to apply full power here, and I'm using the rudder to keep us centered, or reasonably so anyway. And I'm going to lift off probably around 110-ish. You see the tail raised up, and we're off. That was kind of a sloppy takeoff actually, but we're off the ground. Raise the gear and clean up the aircraft so that it eliminates some drag. And I'm going to make a right-hand turn using the stick here. I'm just going to move it right and pull back a little bit on the stick to go into a climb. And I'm just going to use a little bit of rudder to push the nose the way I want it to go. And I'll demonstrate those 3 controls right now as soon as I level out. Okay. This is your roll. This is done by the stick left and right, and you see the control surface is moving there. Okay, to climb, you will basically, I'm already climbing actually, but you'll basically just pull back on the stick and you'll notice the nose go, oops, you can't actually push the nose down on this plane or it will stall because it's not fuel injected. So don't do that, don't do what I just did. I'm going to keep an eye on the airport. Okay, now yaw is the rudder pedals, and you see how it pushes the nose, but it also makes the aircraft want to roll. So if I use just yaw, I actually have to roll to the right to keep the nose centered. And you see how it comes back after I let off the rudder pedal. But that's basically how the controls work. I'm going to make a turn back toward the airfield here again. I can come back on my power a little bit as well. I've got to keep an eye on my temps. And I'm going to pull back on my propeller pitch a little bit to about 2800 RPM. Alright. Now I'm going to demonstrate a stall. A stall is when you no longer have enough airflow over the wing to sustain lift. And basically, the aircraft will not necessarily fall out of the sky, but it will just cease flying. So right now, I'm going to put us level, and I'm going to pull back on the power. And I'm going to just hold this level here. It's kind of hard to see that because I'm in the clouds. Our speed is coming off to 140, and as we start slowing down, I'm going to start pulling back on the stick. Again, make sure to keep on heading. As we get down to about 110, 100, the nose should nose over here in just a sec. Just keep applying back pressure to keep the nose up. It'll take more and more and more as you start to enter the stall, and you'll see the aircraft buffet just before it goes into the stall, as in it will shake and the nose will drop. This thing just does not want to stall. I'm going along here at 50 knots. I got the stick all the way back. There it goes. And there's the stall. So just apply power and recover. Back to straight and level flight. Now I will do a power on stall. This is basically where you've got power, but you're climbing and your angle of attack is so steep that your thrust can no longer overcome the weight and the drag. And this one's going to be a little bit harder to do. Okay, there it goes. And if you notice, that was a little bit more violent, and tried to put us into a spin. Recover straight and level again. And I think that about covers it. So now I'm going to show you how to land, and I think we're done. I had to keep this pretty brief. My last one was a little bit long. So I'm going to come back on my speed a little bit. When I get down to about 140, I'm going to drop flaps. Contrary to what people think, these things over here are not flaps. Those are ailerons. Flaps allow you to they increase the surface area of the wing and allow you to fly at slower speeds without stalling. But too much flaps is, can also create more drag and be of more hindrance than help. So I just lowered the landing gear. I'm maintaining about 115. I'm actually going to come down a little bit short of the runway here and level off and just bleed off my speed. I'm going to add a little bit of power. It's kind of hard to see the runway there, but I'm going to add a little bit of power just to stay in the air and lengthen my approach until we get over the threshold of the runway, which is right there. Power to idle, and just straighten level and let the aircraft settle. It's kind of hard to do that and explain what you're doing at the same time. You also want to be really easy on the brakes here too, because if you get too hard on the brakes, this plane will nose over. So, anyway, I hope that was somewhat entertaining and answered a few questions, and yeah. So, thanks for watching.